purchase a copy, and before you know it, a copy will be in your mailbox, and you can absolutely start reading it. If you love that tactile to hold your books, you can have a copy. But I actually have started to enjoy Kindle. I'm using it when I'm traveling or just when I'm on the go, and I find that it's actually way more enjoyable than I ever thought. So if you haven't used Kindle yet, try it out. This might be the book that converts you to become a Kindle user. I will definitely love it. And of course, you can always order your paperback copy of Ignite Your Courage for you to have. Christmas is coming up. It's a great gift to have and a great opportunity. Well, we're going to get started on our show. Peter, let me know, how's it going? Have we got our first guest here, or is it just going to be me and you to kick it off? Da, da, da.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry. Let me start my video. Good morning.
Yeah, let's go.
So we are ready to rock and roll. Your first guest is here, so I will bring her in, and you can just go.
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we love to ignite your lives. We love to give you something special to do. I'm going to play a little bit of fun music just to get the mood going, because I really want you to feel this fabulousness of our very first guest. And I like to have some fun with my sound effects, so you're going to be hearing some of them. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest for Ignite-A-Rama, Ignite Your Courage 2023 international best-selling author, fabulous, beautiful. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Farrah Smith. Welcome, Farrah. So glad to have you. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, it feels so good to hear that best-selling author in the intro.
It feels so good to have you here now. You have written an Ignite, and this is, not the first time you shared your story. Tell me a little bit about what it means for you to share your courage story.
Yeah, I think a goal for mine just in life is I think a lot of people are held back assuming that certain people have like a courage trait. And courage is not a trait, it's a skill we cultivate. So with my stories, I try to show you I'm scared too. I'm terrified. But I believe in self-coaching. So if you can kind of coach yourself through your limiting beliefs and then coach yourself through life's inevitable challenges, you can really accomplish any goal or dream. So my purpose is just to say, I may look like I have it all together. I definitely don't, but I managed to accomplish my goals because I coached myself through it. And you can too.
Yeah, it's really good that you say that, because I also did a lot of self-reflection. Like, is courage having the fear and just pushing it through? Is courage knowing that it's going to be okay on the other side? And what I liked about what you said is some self-coaching and some self cheerleader, giving yourself that extra boost and that extra encouragement. Tell the audience a little bit about your Ignite moment and some of the courage around your story.
Yes, I don't know what I was thinking, but my biggest fear in life is public speaking. And I decided to give a TEDx talk. The TED stage is one of the most intimidating things you can do. And so I went on this journey, and I knew, and this is a very important point to what you were just saying, courage sometimes is taking that first step to apply. But then I had to have courage over and over and over again. And they told me my speech was terrible when they said I needed to improve it. When, every step of the way, my courage was tested, and I cultivated before you even get on that stage. And then I was terrified to get on the stage. So it was, I think in life, it was a great metaphor for life in general. It's not something you cultivate once and you're fine for the rest of your life. And as your goals grow and your dreams get bigger, you have to continue to cultivate your courage gene. So I wanted to also, my story just show, it wasn't like I got excited, clicked yes, and it was fine. It was self-doubt, and bring myself back to center so that I could move forward into my goal and dream of doing a TEDx talk.
It's true. Public speaking, TEDx, having that pressure, having everyone looking at you, having everyone watching you, everyone having these expectations, that's definitely nerve-wracking. And yet you continue to sort of push through each and every one of, like, the little, I call them micro steps. You sort of, okay, I get to that micro step, I can overcome that micro step. Would you suggest to some of the people watching that when they have a big dream or something that maybe they're terrified to do, but they commit to it, is there this little micro movements that they can make that you did to get you onto the stage and successful?
Yeah, that goes into my action steps. And I know you were just talking about this. You can determine your purpose, your passion, and then actually you can kind of set your goals and break it down into micro steps. And whether that's 1 week, 1 month, however you do that. The key for me and my steps is, okay, I have my goal and I have my, I know my purpose and passion and my goal, but then it starts to work on your mind and your body. That's where it all really comes into place. Because even if you know what you want to do and you know how to do it, well, now here comes in all the limiting beliefs. So you need to learn, goes back to that self-coaching. Okay, what's my I am not enough? It usually comes back to, am I not smart enough? Am I not good enough? Am I not cool enough? Interesting enough? So work on your I am not enoughs, and then go into resilience. And it's so funny, John Paul DeJoria, a billionaire, who's one of my biggest clients, just called me. And I'm like, that's so random. I haven't spoken to him in a while. And he always says, one of the keys to success is being prepared for rejection. And I like to add failure to that. So I'd say, get your mind right, your confidence right, then you get your resilience ready to go. If I fail, if I get rejected, if I make a mistake, I'm going to be okay. And then the final step is just physical. You have to get, I think you mentioned this just a minute ago too, about the lion. Your body doesn't know the difference between a perceived threat and a real threat. So then once you have your mind, your body, also has to now calm yourself down so you can actually take intimidating action. So it's kind of a mind-body thing for me.
It's so true, because when we get worked up or nervous or anxious, like all those cylinders are firing, and there's all kinds of, the palms are sweaty, the heart is going, the breathing has changed, the dilation of the eyes, like a lot of stuff is going on. And I actually think that is, if we could just turn that into giving yourself like more laser focusedness, more heightened awareness, more the ability to see things from a different perspective. It actually, in many ways, fear can be sort of turned into like really honing you into what it is you're about to do. So if you're going to dive off a giant diving board, or you're going to, go and like, there's so many things that you get fearful, go on stage and do a TED talk. Those moments when you're afraid, it's really honing you into an ability to create a superpower.
Yeah, I agree. And they say it's scientifically proven, because it's kind of the same feeling as excitement. If you can just, before you're even about to do something, I'm so scared, I'm so terrified. It's like, I am so excited. I am so excited. And just your brain will start to see those feelings of what you were just talking about a little bit different. And I also like to say fear is just a sign that I'm about to step to the next level of my ability. I'm about to go to the next level of all my goals and dreams. So to me, because they say you should, your dreams should scare you a little and excite you a lot.
Right.
If I'm not scared at all, I probably don't really care that much. But
right.
If I feel a little fear, it's like, all right, it's game time. We're doing something important.
Well, let me ask you, so now that you've done your TED talk and you pushed through those little micro steps, you got to the final, you went out on stage, you did it, you came off of stage. What was that feeling?
Well, it was a huge sense of relief, but I would say all the things I feared that was going to be the part after it, of being judged, all those people saying I was a failure and what did she know? And I made mistakes. I made mistakes on stage. I had to literally say, I have no control over this video, not like your social media, Ted. If it's you stink, you stink. And the comments are brutal. So I also had to go back into that work of like, I'm going to have courage in this post part of it. It's like, no matter what anyone says to me, any mistakes I said, people, like, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. My goal was to serve, and I'm going to find the right people, and I'm going to serve and help people. Forget all the ones that hated it. That wasn't my point, and they're not my people.
Exactly. And it's interesting that the people who complain, usually the people who loved it, they love it, they go away, they have their takeaway, they feel good, they go to sleep at night, they're like, oh, Farrah really inspired me. And they don't necessarily say anything on social media. It's those other people who see that, who didn't feel it in themselves, that then they feel compelled to tell you because it didn't transform them. And that's an inside job. You and I both know that. So work on them. And you work on you. And I'm so proud of you. And I know that in hindsight, that just works this muscle that's giving you the courage to do something else. Do you have a next big goal that you're going after?
Well, after I did it, it was writing a book. So thank you, JV. and I'm part of your next book too. I don't know if you want to talk about that. And then I'm working on my own book. So my like ultimate like bucket list goal in life is to write my own book about my journey. So again, you go through that fear of I'm not a good writer. I wasn't great in school. Who am I? No one cares about my story. Like, and I have to just, push through that, coach myself through my insecurities and anything that gets in my way. Life's full of ups and downs and challenges, and coach myself through that too. If you set your mind on something and you don't let any of, life's hiccups, whatever, stop you, you'll eventually get to your destination if you're determined to get there.
I so agree. I mean, you just getting on the stage is a success. There's no failure. You speaking your words is a success. There's no failure. You doing all the work to get there is a success. There's no failure. And so I always, people ask me all the time, like, how do you do what you do? It's because I just don't really think anything is a failure. Just one step in front of the other is a success. Just getting up off the couch is a success. Just showing up today is a success. And so that idea of failure, because it wasn't the pinnacle or the perfect or the end goal, it always weaves its way into something new. And I'm sure what you thought you were going to get from your TED Talk and what you've received from it is 10 times more than you ever even imagined, because you didn't know until you did it.
Well, another thing I always like to say to myself is failure is not a trait, it's an event. Because there are times I've given speeches that have not gone well. I am not a failure. Again, what you're just saying, I hate to say that was a failure experience, but that's what it feels like in this moment. But what can I learn from it? How can I grow? How can I improve? So then going back to, was it really a failure? Well, it just didn't go as well as I'd hoped. But that does not reflect on me as an individual. My self-worth is not tied to the outcome of my goals. And I think that is critical if you have big dreams.
Absolutely. You swung at the ball. Just because you missed it, you still swung. And that is so fantastic. That takes courage.
And again, courage is a muscle. You know what I mean? You do a little bit and you build that muscle and you build a little. I think a lot of people think it's courage, and then you do things. It's like, no, you got to act. You got to get out there. You got to start doing stuff. And as you do, you build up that muscle, and then do a little more, bigger dreams, bigger goals. You build up that muscle. So it's an ongoing process.
And bravo to you, because you went, okay, I'm going to do my TED Talk. I did it. Okay, now I want to write a book. So you started with 3,000 words, an Ignite book, Ignite Your Courage, which is so awesome. And then Farrah's moved on, is also going to be in our Ignite Humanity book, which is such a joy for me, because this is the book series that is really, I'm really passionate about, because we need to ignite humanity. We all need to have courage to be able to step up, to be the greatest versions of ourselves, to ignite humanity. Farrah's going to be a part of that book that's coming out next year. And then I am just standing on the sidelines, first in line, waiting in the audience to be the biggest cheerleader she has ever had when she's ready to do her solo book. And so again, it's everything is a marination. Everything takes time. We have to learn what we need to learn to get to the next step. So bravo for you. I absolutely know without a doubt you're going to have your solo book, and you're going to have found the courage to do that, and the next thing and the next thing after that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, JP, for the opportunity to be a part of Ignite Courage and Ignite Humanity. And I look forward to seeing what else we can do in the future. I feel like together we're going to make a really powerful impact, and that feels really good.
Are we ever? And it's been said here, folks, and you all heard it. Together we're going to make a powerful impact, and that's how life works. You really want to work together with people. And on that note, I would love to share that one of your co-authors is here to support you and to pour into you. Karen, unmute yourself and give a little love to Farrah.
So Farrah, I did read your story, and I actually wrote down a part of your story where it says courage is often perceived as impressive, powerful, and self-absorbed from the outside, but on the inside, it's accompanied by stress, anxiety, and overwhelming self-doubt. And that resonated with me, and I wrote it down, and I will use this and look at this. But your story was beautiful. I'm so happy that you stepped out on faith and went out there and just took a chance and continue to grow. And you're never a failure. Just being on Mastermind with you, I would have never known that.
Thank
because
you
you
so
just
much.
exude positivity. So I am so happy to be a co-author with you in Ignite Your Courage. And when you go to Ignite Humanity and your own book, I'm going to be cheering for you as well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I'm so excited to be on this journey with you as well.
You know, that's the
Thank you.
power of stories, because I love, Karen, that you found a sentence in there that really resonated with you. And I think every single person who reads an Ignite book, an Ignite chapter, Ignite story, an Ignite book, they find so many of these powerful nuggets that really, really do speak to you. And that's what it's designed to do. So, Farrah, look, there you go. You got your already one fan. You've already ignited one life.
Well, I think that would be my one final note. And I'm so glad she brought that up, is the people we admire, we always just think they're not scared. They have it all together. They're so confident. They're so brave. No, they're just as terrified as you are.
Yes.
And that was one of the things in my TEDx, that you see me standing here with a power suit on. Well, I've gone from, through some serious depression and anxiety and failures in my life. And I think it's important to show that just because you see all these other people doing well, they feel just the same way as you. It's the people that choose to move forward despite that fear. Again, I can't believe I almost missed my Mark Twain quote. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite the fear. And I just think that's such a key, important part of being successful and living the life of your dreams.
Absolutely. Karen, you put your hand up again. Do you have one final share?
No, I just was saying that I'm here for the next Jenny and everybody else today.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Well, Farrah, I really want to congratulate you. The work you've done is beautiful. I love reading your stories. Your style of writing is very unique. It's personal, it's genuine. And I agree with you. That is what is going to make a big difference in the planet, when we just show ourselves. And we are human with flaws and insecurities and I'm not enoughness, until we decide I'm going to take that extra step and I'm going to do a little bit more, and then the next thing and the next thing, and it all unfolds in a beautiful, magnificent way. Bravo to you. You've got a huge writing career ahead of you. Everyone is going to be loving your story. Go to Amazon today and get a copy of Ignite Your Courage, and you can read Farrah's story. Any last words you'd love to share with people, just so they have that wonderful takeaway from you?
I just, again, think your dream should scare you a little, but excite you a lot. So if you feel fear, you're heading in the right direction. As long as there's that part of excitement in you too, that purpose and passion, fear is a good thing. Embrace it. It's part of the journey.
Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, she's an international best-selling author. We love her. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Be sure to celebrate today and enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much, Farrah. Take care, and big blessings to you. All right, well, that's how it's going to be, folks. We are going to be seeing and talking to and enjoying our time with our authors, and you're going to get to really hear from them. And even though it's a short interview, you're going to get so much impact. We're going to move over to our next author. She's going to come into the room, and she's going to share with you her experience through courage. Now, what I want to say is, these authors, they put their hand up to do this. They decided this was something that was important to them. They volunteered to